Hello automators, thanks for tuning in again. I'm here in my kitchen today with my Google Home Hub and my Lenovo Smart Display, and what I'm going to do is show you how you can use these great devices in your kitchen, and I'm going to specifically show you the new Cookbook feature that is available on both of these devices. So let's get going. The new Cookbook feature by Google is an incredible implementation of utilizing all of their search results on the internet and a number of selected partners, which I'll show on the screen now. But those partners and their recipe formats can now show up on these devices. The Cookbook then allows you to save certain recipes that you love and that you want to reference for later, and it's all going into something called Google Collections. For any demonstration that starts in the kitchen, you're going to need to know what you can get in terms of information off of these devices. So let's start with something simple like a measurement. Hey, how many milliliters in a cup?
1 US cup equals 236.588 milliliters.
Convert grams to pounds.
1 gram equals 0.0022 pound.
So you can see some very simple conversions that you can do here, and that's really the basis of some cooking recipes that you get. Now, about those recipes, this is one of the most powerful features in the Google Home Hub and the Lenovo Smart Display. So let's go ahead and get a recipe, and again, we're using those partner websites as we ask for this recipe. We're just going to those partner websites, and then they're showing up on the screen. Show me recipes for spaghetti.
Okay, here are some recipes.
Now, obviously, I can go ahead and I can scroll through all these different recipes. You're seeing ratings as we go through them all. And then once I choose one, I get a new interface. Then this new interface will actually stay on the screen indefinitely. Whenever you're in recipes and or your cookbook, the screen stays on indefinitely. Now, right off the bat, you can see there's two buttons at the bottom of the interface here. You can start cooking with this recipe. You can go through the recipe a little more, and you can also add it to Cookbook immediately. So if I wanted to add this recipe for later or for another date, I can go ahead and add this to my cookbook. So add this to my cookbook.
Recipe saved.
So there you go. Now, whenever I go into this recipe in my cookbook, I can go ahead and remove the item from my cookbook as well with just as simple of a command. Now, once I'm inside a recipe, I can also go ahead and read more about it, read the steps, and read the ingredients I'm going to need. But once I'm ready to go ahead and actually execute this as something I want to cook, I can just ask Google to start cooking. So, start cooking.
There are 3 ingredients. You can ask for the next ingredient or skip to the instructions. The first ingredient is 3 6-ounce cans tomato sauce.
So very simple, and now all I have to do is say next ingredient. If I want to use the interface on the screen, I can go ahead and do that as well, but ultimately very simple for me to go to the next ingredient. So next ingredient.
The second ingredient is 8 ounces of spaghetti noodles.
Now, as I go here, let's say I know all the ingredients or I just want to skip to the instructions. I can go ahead and request that, or I can go back in previous ingredients with the same sort of commands. You can see the buttons at the bottom right now. So really great functionality for you to make sure that everything is ready on your countertop or your space where you're doing your cooking. So skip to instructions.
There's 4 steps. I'll read them one by one. When you're ready to hear more, you can say, next step. First step, cook 8 ounces of spaghetti noodles.
Now, as you go again, you can go ahead and skip to the next instruction. You can skip back in instructions if you want to preview things and just move back and forth in between the whole recipe here. Additionally, you have access to the interface and you can go ahead and just move through the entire steps of your recipe here. As you tap on things, it will move you down to the next part, but it doesn't read them out unless you actually request the next step here.
Second step, place cooked spaghetti noodles in a skillet on medium-high heat.
As I said, you can skip it back and forth using your voice or the buttons on screen for the next and the previous step. So, hey, next step.
Add 3 6-ounces cans of tomato sauce and 1 cup of Parmesan cheese to skillet.
So you can go ahead and get some additional information. You can also move back and forth between steps in a quicker way. You can ask specifically for a numbered step. So what's step 2?
Add 3 6-ounces cans of tomato sauce and 1 cup of Parmesan cheese to skillet.
Now you can also ask things like how long it's going to take you to prepare a supper like this or to prepare this recipe. You can ask different cooking time, serving time, or total time. And you can also ask for information around calories and things like that. Now, obviously, once you're done all of this and you've done all of your cooking, you want to stop this process because the screen does stay on for a long time. So all you need to do is say, stop.
All right, done.
Now, as we talked about before, you want to be able to access this cookbook. And the cookbook is one of the most powerful things. You're not anymore going to need grandma's old little cookbook with all the different recipes in it. You could actually go and create recipes on one of these partner sites and then share them or save them to your Google collection, and they would then show up here. Now, I'm not saying go throw away grandma's old cookbook. You get in trouble for that. But let's go ahead and open up our cookbook now. Open my cookbook.
Okay, your cookbook.
So now again, I have 2 different items and I can go ahead and tap into any item in my cookbook here. I can go ahead and I could remove the item from cookbook, and I can also review the details and ask the different nutrition information, how long it takes to cook, all those different things again, and I can review what I need. I can also say start cooking, and it will bring me back exactly to where we were before when we were running a recipe. Start cooking.
Before we start, preheat oven to 350 degrees.
Now I'm going to have to turn down the music here, but I'm going to show you that you can actually go ahead and start music and play music while you're working with your smart display or your Google Home Hub. So start royalty-free music.
Okay, here are some songs.
So while I have music actually playing here, I had to swipe back a couple of times to get back to the main page, and then I went back into my recipe here. And once inside the recipe, what I can do is I can continue to run through with the next ingredient or the next step in the process, and I can also switch between songs if I'd like. Now, what you have to remember about using the command next is you're going to have to be specific whether or not you want the next ingredient, the next step, or the next song. And really what Google tells you is make sure you're being specific about next song. So next ingredient. Now I know you can't really hear that, but I will turn it up and then I'll go to the next song to show you that that's working. Hey, next song. Stop song. So you can see as I'm specific with the word song, I'm able to stop my music. I'm able to start it again if I'd like, and I can go ahead and still continue to cook. There's also the new and improved shopping list capability on the smart displays where you can actually interface with the device as you add items, and then in order to remove them, you can actually just simply tap on the items that you want to remove. And the next time you access that shopping list, it will remove those and show your fully updated list. So very powerful for you to utilize within your kitchen. There you have it, guys. This has been my demo or tutorial for the Google Home Hub, the Lenovo Smart Display, and the cookbook and recipe feature. It's going to help you in the kitchen, and there's a lot of reasons to now put either of these two devices in your kitchen and begin to use that cookbook functionality. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.